Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 14, text number 29. Maitreya Uvacha Ittam Viparyayamatihi Papiyan Utpatam Gataha Anuniyamanas Na Chakre Brashtamangala. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Great sage Maitreya continued. Thus the king who became unintelligent due to his sinful life and deviation from the right path became actually bereft of all good fortune. He could not accept the requests of the great sages, which the sages put before him with great respect, and therefore he was condemned. Purport. Demons certainly cannot have any faith in the words of the authorities. In fact, they are always disrespectful to authorities. They manufacture their own religious principles and disobey great personalities like Vyasa, Narada, and even the Supreme Personality of God and Krishna. As soon as one disobeys authority, he immediately becomes very sinful and loses his good fortune. The king was so puffed up and impudent that he dared disrespect the great saintly personalities, and this brought him ruination. Here, great sage Maitreya Rishi, who is narrating the story of King Vena, has come forward to give an overview of what is happening. So far, the conversations were between King Vena and the sages, as being narrated by Maitreya Rishi. So now Maitreya Rishi is coming in to say that the king, because of his sinful life, he was unintelligent, and therefore he could not accept the good advices of the sages, which they offered him with great respect due to a king. And because of his sinful attitude of even claiming himself to be God, which is the most the worst sinful thinking that anybody can do, that I am God. And that blocks one's spiritual intelligence, by which one may listen to good advices. So, this is why many people don't accept Krishna consciousness philosophy when you explain to them, even very intelligent people, because they have blocked their spiritual intelligence by sinful activities. As long as one engages in sinful activities, at the root of the sinful activity, the sinful attitude is the sinful attitude of desiring to enjoy independent of God. Even if he is not directly blasphemous to God, as in this case. When we preach also, normally people who are not very pious or in whose background there are a lot of sinful activities, this message does not reach their heart. So in order to awaken, the first thing that happens for a person to come into Krishna consciousness is awakening of his spiritual intelligence very little. Little, even little. Because intrinsically we have spiritual intelligence. We have forgotten Krishna. Our spiritual mind, spiritual intelligence is all sleeping. So when we get convinced of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then immediately there is a little awakening of my spiritual intelligence. If it is not very deep or strong, you may again forget it. So when one does not remember that he is a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, he acts independently because he cannot stop chasing Satya, Chitta and Ananda. That is his nature. Atma Swarupa is Satchidananda. That is his nature, the deep instinct to seek to satisfy his Sat hunger, Chit hunger and Ananda hunger cannot go away from the soul. Every living entity, conditioned or liberated, this urge is always there. Just like if you say this body is there, hunger must be there. So soul is eternally existing. Whether the soul is embodied spirit person or liberated spirit person, or even in a Brahman state spirit person, or an awakened spiritual person in the spiritual world. These are all various states of consciousness of the soul. Awakened soul, Brahman soul, not awakened, but still he is liberated from material energy, impersonalist. Then there is this embodied soul. Those who want, they want to give expression to their hunger for Satchidananda, independent of Krishna. Therefore, they get a material body to satisfy that. An embodied spirit person. We are all embodied spirit persons. Within the embodied spirit person, again there are two types. One is the sadhaka spirit person, who is in the path of getting unembodied. And there are embodied spirit persons who are interested in just not in Krishna and to this. So we are embodied persons but sadhaka spirit persons. We want to come out of this embodied situation. So little spiritual knowledge, intelligence has awakened in us. Therefore we are sadhakas. And somewhere we began, somebody preached to us, Prabhupada's books preached to us, somebody gave the books to us, and that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we started recognizing it. So why some people read Prabhupada's books, it strikes, some people immediately it doesn't strike. Or some people accept Krishna consciousness very fast, some people don't accept Krishna consciousness. Irrespective of how materially intelligent they are. There are so many people who are materially so intelligent, They cannot accept Krishna consciousness because spiritual intelligence is not awakened. Spiritual awakened, not fully awakened. If you're fully awakened, then you are in your spiritual body. You start by the mercy of association of the Vaishnavas. It happens. So now coming to sinful activities is where you are actually practicing an independent existence of Krishna. If you are not sinful, your heart is in a better situation to accept Krishna consciousness when you come across it. Just like there are different kinds of ground. As far as a farmer is concerned, there is nice soil, then there is some dry soil, the next class of soil, then finally there is a rock. If there is a rock in his farm, he will not put any seed there because he knows it will not come up. So he'll put it in the earth. He'll put it also in the best earth. So our Chittam is like that. Chittam is the field. Chittam means subtle body. Manas, Buddhi and Ahankara are the three functional bodies of subtle body. But the result of the functioning of Manas, Buddhi and Ahankara is accumulated in Chitta, which is nothing but experiential memories. And Chitta is the immediate neighbor of the soul. Out of 24 elements in the Bhagavatam, 23rd element is called Chitta. Chittam or Chitta. That is the accumulated consciousness, material consciousness. For instance, mind function is to accept and reject. It will accept and reject, but what it accepts and rejects is recorded in the Chittam body. Intelligence is also defined in terms of its function. That is a functional aspect of intelligence. But what it decides intelligently, discriminates, what it accepts, all those things, that knowledge, it goes and sits in the Chittam. Just like you see, I have my hand, legs, all these things. My hand it functions. The functional part of this body. It takes food, puts into the system. It gets nourished. So hand itself is a result of some action of the hand. In other words, this body, gross body, is formed out of the food that I gave to it through my hand. Similarly, subtle body is a result of all the functioning of Manas, Buddhi and Ahankara. That is why, actually Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he says only 8 elements. 5 and 3. Panchabhuta and 3. Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara. Where is Chittam? Chittam is nothing but deposit of Manas, Buddhi and Ahankara. Fundamentally, there is only 8 elements, the material energy. The experiential memory of the functioning of this Panchabhuta and 3 elements together is called Chittam. So that is why we say chitta should get purified. My consciousness body should get purified. So consciousness body or the subtle body has to be purified. It's like the ground. It can be rock-like. That's why we say stone-hearted. Rock-like, where when you read Prabhupada's books, nothing strikes you. But of course, no doubt, if you go on reading, that sound has got the potency to pulverize the rock into soil. It will pulverize the rock into soil and prepare the soil itself to receive the seed of bhakti. That is the power of reading. That's what Prabhupada says. If you don't understand something in my books, what does he say? Read again and again. Why? Because that Shabda has got the Shakti to prepare your Chittam to receive the knowledge, transcendental knowledge. So reading Prabhupada's books, hearing Prabhupada is the solution for all problems. Sometimes they say, I have no interest, this thing, I have no interest in reading. No, in an uninterested way, you go on reading. Interest will develop. So why, just like interest doesn't come because your Chittam is like a rock. Rock only has ultimately earth and rock are all same. It is a condition. One condition of earth is called rock. Another condition of earth is called nice soil, cultivable soil. So, suppose sinful activities you do, highest sinful activity we have already explained, like what this man is doing. He is directly imitating the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But normal sinful activities, that is the reason why 4 regulative principles are important. Why? Because the 4 regulative principles are sinful activities. Sinful activity means that they contaminate my Chittam. A contaminated Chittam cannot accept Krishna consciousness. So even though holy name is so powerful, holy name doesn't cross our free will. Very important to understand. Each jiva is free. He has his free will. If holy name is so powerful, why doesn't he force my Chittam to become pure against my wish and make me Krishna conscious? No, your wish. That Krishna will not. Ye tamam prapadyante tam sate vajam. My rule is, as you surrender, I reciprocate. Your freedom is, your free will is very important. You choose to become a pure devotee, I will facilitate. From your depth of your heart, you say, I want to become a pure devotee. You still desire, I want to enjoy life like everybody else is enjoying in this world. I will not interfere. I will facilitate. I will facilitate. You are not a stone, you are Jiva Shakti. My Jiva Shakti. So this is very important for us to keep our Chittam pure. First rule to keep our Chittam pure is the 4 regulative principles. After that, keep oneself, not after that, simultaneously keep oneself free from Vaishnava Ninda, and of course, becoming Mayavadi means Vishnu Ninda. This we have to keep away from this. Then our Chittam will be pure. It will absorb everything that Prabhupada said. If you can grasp and get excited about everything that Prabhupada says, or comprehend everything that Prabhupada says, you should think you are very lucky. Your Chittam is in a good state. And sometimes devotees can comprehend Prabhupada's book, but they don't read Prabhupada's books. So there are devotees who cannot comprehend, because their Chittam is so covered, they cannot comprehend what Prabhupada is saying and no interest in reading. There are some devotees who are interested in reading, very nice, every line of Prabhupada is very exciting. But they don't read. Just see what a great loss. To get the taste to read Prabhupada's purport is a very great gift that you are having. That means you are able to digest. Go on digesting. Go on reading. Just like we are preaching to people to make them Krishna conscious. We are talking, Prabhupada is waiting to talk to us. Prabhupada said, I wrote these books not only for outsiders, for all of you. We are the greatest, if we want to be, we can be the greatest beneficiary of Prabhupada's books, his writings. Especially if you can comprehend. And what happens? The more you read, the more Chittam becomes pure. It's just like a cycle of purification. More you hear, more sharp you become to catch what you are reading further. You read after 10 years something which you have read before. You will see that your intelligence has become sharper. You'll be able to see every word of Srila Prabhupada, because it's all coming from the spiritual world. Is inspiring, is cleansing the heart. Same thing, Krishna's verses in Bhagavad Gita. First, for those who want to go to Krishna, back to God, and who have decided, those verses communicate a different message, a spiritual message, an inspiring, cleansing thing. It builds faith in us, increases our faith in Krishna. Every verse of Bhagavad Gita you read again and again as a devotee, it increases your faith in Krishna. Some people read Bhagavad Gita 20, 25 years, they don't develop faith in Krishna. They see only just like we discussed the other day, the Vedas are little impersonal. Not fully impersonal, largely impersonal in that sense. The Upanishads, especially Upanishads, largely impersonal. Their description of existence is like this, like how you describe how any company can run, any corporate can run. There should be this function, that function, this function, that function, this function, this function. But they are not talking about who is sitting in those functions. So when they Ishvaraha Paramakrishna, suppose they read like that anywhere, they forget Krishna and say, yes, there is only Ishvara. Position. Bhagavatam is the essence of the Upanishads, essence of Vedanta Sutra. Therefore, he, after telling the structure, Vyasadeva in the end writes this. Now in that structure, whatever it is, now without any contradiction, Vedasya sarve raham eva vedya, Vedanta krit veda eva cha. Krishna is to be known by all the Vedas. So first you are philosophically minded. No harm. Understand how the world is running. There is an Ishvara, etc. Then you read Bhagavatam, then you say, who is this Ishvara? Param Ishvara. That comes in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So anyway, today's point is that we have to maintain our Chittam by proper Vaishnava Achar and Vichar. That means one should think, feel, will, act as per the guidelines given by the Guru. Then automatically my Chittam remains in a very good condition to receive the Kripa of the holy name, receive the unlimited Kripa of Krishna's words, unlimited ocean of knowledge, transcendental knowledge of Bhaktivedanta purports. Available, purports are available. Process is also mentioned. Please read here, submissively. But there is a third factor inside. What you read, it goes and hits the Chittam. You have a barren land. You own a barren land. No plants, no tree, nothing grows. What is the first step? Is to bring life into the soil. Just like in our Hare Krishna farm in Mysore, when we first purchased, it was only all small stones. Nothing would grow. And since it was a hillock, hills don't hold soil. So it's the worst land that an agriculturist can think of. Over the years, the whole process, you have to hold the surface soil from moving out. Then you have to put organically, you have to put organic waste. If you take some earth when we bought the land, you take it to the laboratory, there is no biological activity at all in that. Today you go to a farm, pick up little earth. It's highly rich in biological activity. So this has happened over the years through a process by not taking even one chemical into that land. No pesticides, no fertilizers. So naturally, slowly by hard work, investing energy into it, tilling, again planting something, highly unprotective. Just see now 25 years since we got that land. All 25 years we are only spending money, nothing we have got from the produce. We spend more in order to create something. But over the years you will see that is coming back. The productivity is coming back. Because soil is becoming rich. So similarly, our spiritual strength also starts increasing as our Chittam is cultivated into a Vaishnava. Chittam is my present personality. My present personality should become a Vaishnava personality. What you think, what you act, all these things also these are the things that culture, just like see how Prabhupada has given a method of culturing bhakti. Do this, don't do this. Be awake in the Brahma Muhurta, attend the morning programs. Take only prasadam. Keep yourself, body, mind clean. What are these instructions? They are all instructions too. Just like we prepared the barren land into a fertile land. My Chittam should become fertile. By all these activities, automatically they are all high punya activities, what we are doing. Even though we are practicing bhakti is automatically from the material plane, it is high punya. So King Vena cannot understand what these people are saying. And that is what is mentioned here. Because he is sinful, great sage Maitreya continued, thus the king who became unintelligent due to his sinful life. That unintelligent is what? Dharmically unintelligent, spiritually unintelligent. And he was talking like a very high intelligent man. I am everything. Due to his sinful life means life independent of no consciousness of God. Where is nothing God? I am God. Due to his sinful life and deviation from the right path. The right path for a king or a human being is prescribed in the scriptures. In fact, he should make everybody Krishna conscious. He should facilitate everybody to perform yajna for the Supreme Lord. That is the right path for the king. He is saying now, you all satisfy me. He could not accept the requests of the great sages, which the sages put before him with great respect. And therefore he was condemned. Any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Here I'm just trying to understand, if you see the cycle of a devotee, I'm just referring to the phase we are going through, both the groups. They also came in touch with Srila Prabhupada's, and it was a hard rock state because of the reading and sadhana. Fertile stage, they also came in stage. They also came in stage where fertile stage, soil was fertile by association of Prabhupada's readings. I'm talking about other camp. But how do we understand there's somewhere deviation of the path has happened where it is what Prabhupada wanted is not being followed?
Okay, I didn't get in between whom you are talking about.
It's other camp and...
other camp.
Other camp.
Okay.
I didn't want to, yeah. So how do we understand, kind of, if you see, deviation has happened from the...
in this case the case you are talking about, they are chanting Hare Krishna, we are chanting Hare Krishna. it is beyond this Chittam thing. It is their free will. How after every level there is a test. So at the spiritual level the test fails because some desire. Ordinary people you leave. Ordinary means rank and file devotees you leave. But people who have taken up the position of Prabhupada. Right? So those who have taken up the position of Prabhupada, why is this not striking them? That's a question. Why July 9 letter is not striking them? Because there is a desire to be Guru instead of being servant. These are one of the principles of Vaishnavism. You have to go everything by the order of Guru. You should not create any desires yourself, even to serve the Lord. That is the reason we have an authority system. Sometimes in the authority system somebody may give you wrong advice. That also doesn't matter. Means in terms of service. But what is more important that you stay in the authority system. That means your bigger principle is, I will not have my own desires. I will adopt the desires of the Lord, coming in whichever way according to my capacity today. That is my spiritual advancement. So, obedience to Guru's order, strict obedience to Guru's order, becomes difficult when there are desires. In fact, the desire to be worshipped is a last snare of Maya for Vaishnava. For general philosophers who seek after truth, the last snare of Maya is what? I am God. Okay, now devotees have accepted, I am servant of God. Now last snare of Maya for them is what? Because, you see, the souls surrender to Guru. So to accept their worship as good as God is a big Maya. Because soul does not take worship at all. It's unconstitutional for soul to get worshipped. Here or anywhere it's unconstitutional. Only God can receive worship. But yet, on the order of the spiritual Krishna and Parampara, somebody takes up the position of being worshipped as good as God in order to train the people how to develop love for Krishna, how to surrender to Krishna. You learn by surrendering to Srila Prabhupada. So when you surrender to him, he accepts that surrender. Not to himself. He passes on to Krishna. Because he knows every jiva belongs to Krishna. I am role-playing here on behalf of Krishna. Therefore, spiritual master is called transparent via media. Guru does not take anything. He passes on everything to Krishna. That is his job. That is the transcendental role of a Sadguru. And it so happens that the Shastra says you have to treat him as good as God. Why? Because the disciple cannot see God. He sees a worshipable person. So we worship. We get connected to the absolute reality through worshipping the spiritual master. So without an order, taking up a work which is not constitutional for the soul is a special seva. You have to take it up with an order. So if this principle is not accepted, or if this principle is not understood by the devotee, he may think I am serving, and many disciples get connected, will get benefit also from that person. That is not the, that's why I said this is happening at a higher level. This is a impurity, it comes at a spiritual level, not like karmis and all. So Krishna will teach them in some way. Maybe there will always be an ISKCON with Madhyama and Kanishta Adhikaris as gurus. Because there are people who want to, and there are disciples who will also accept. And there will also be parallelly another Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON. And it will go on, life will go on. Material world, for all kinds of jivas, he has created a material existence. To make people chant Hare Krishna itself is so rare. So it doesn't matter. At that level, we also make everybody public chant Hare Krishna, they also make temple in the way. So it is one movement at that level. But at another fine level, no, it's not. Only Prabhupada is the spiritual master here. So preaching will go on at a common level, at ordinary level, and it becomes service to the Lord. So they're also making the world chant Hare Krishna, we are also making the world chant Hare Krishna. So difference is at another level where that disobedience is cause of disempowerment. How much Shakti comes through the Parampara's Shakti. See, Parampara's Shakti came through Prabhupada. Means Parampara has a mission. Individually you want to progress, you disobey a little here, there, you go on, no problem. Prabhupada was empowered to continue the vision of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if any practitioners or group of practitioners of Prabhupada's teachings, they're strictly following, especially this aspect. They're strictly following, strictly not following one regulative principle. That is different. Its impact is different. Strictly not following Prabhupada's initiation system, that is another level. Both are not same. This will happen, one regulative principle, sometimes you break this thing, that is different. That strictly following, the impact of that not strictly following is different. The impact of not strictly following the Prabhupada's instruction, how to continue the mission, the impact of that is different by not strictly following. The Shakti that comes through strictly following will be multifold. And you should not tell that no Shakti will come there. These are all, right and wrong. This exists, this world doesn't go by only two values, right and wrong. This itself, Krishna's statement itself, so, ye etamam prapatyante tam sate bhajamiham. He doesn't say this or that. He says, as you surrender, I reciprocate. No, some people want to be guru, but they follow sadhana, get up in the morning, do everything. Krishna should not reciprocate, he will reciprocate them. But at the same time, in the other aspect, he will not reciprocate. Means his Shakti will flow through strict followers. Just like Gaudiya Math and so many things, Prabhupada, so many disciples were there. They are still there, their mats are still there, preaching is going on. They are Krishna conscious. Not that they are not Krishna conscious, they are Krishna conscious. People in the other camp, they are Krishna conscious, but they missed some key point. So as you surrender, Krishna reciprocates. So what is the special reciprocation for those who strictly follow this initiation system? Keeping Prabhupada as the Acharya for everybody. It's a very big vision of Prabhupada to build a worldwide united movement going on for 10,000 years. That will not happen through them. They will break up. Different personalities will make their own camps, and each camp will, how Krishna reciprocates, it will reciprocate. They will preach also. They will preach also. Some local communities will flourish. But what about the global movement? It has got special Shakti. That is why it is said you become asara. When you disobey this key instruction of Prabhupada, especially this is paramparic instruction. Who is next? If you break this, because Shakti is coming through parampara. Missionary Shakti is coming through. Missionary empowerment is coming through this line. That we have to understand. That is the only difference between us and them. You cannot say their chanting is not effective. They're just like they say, no, don't take prasadam from Ritvik temple. It's not prasadam. We don't say that. We say that other temple, they're prasadam. If they follow whatever Prabhupada said about how to offer and all those things, it is prasadam. If they don't follow that system, it is not prasadam. Yeah, any other question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I have one doubt, Prabhu, if you can just clarify. So, Prabhu, in today's class, you emphasized on the importance of reading Srila Prabhupada books, as it fertilizes our Chittam to be capable to hold the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So, also, Prabhu, we know that holy name acts like a thunderbolt to the mountain of sins accumulated in the heart. Acts as a thunderbolt to the mountain of sins accumulated in the heart. So, Prabhu, now, as per my stage, I have lot of independent enjoyment desires. But somehow, by the kind association of exalted devotees, I got to know that, I should chant extra, like it is like a, pouring the water, pouring the water. But also in today's class also, I got to understand that holy name also facilitates our desires. Like we have a free will, and if I have a free will to enjoy more, so holy name will facilitate that also. So if my understanding is correct, we just wanted to check now along with my reading 1 hour every day, in my extra time, what shall I do? Shall I read more, or shall I chant more, or shall I engage in service more? Because now I'm getting that understanding that if holy name is facilitating my desires of independent enjoyment, then I should read more, so that my chittam gets fertile.
Divide. Sometimes read, sometimes hear. Krishna will inspire you, right time to know something. When you read, that thing will come up. It will purify you. So Lord is with you in your heart. So He will guide, because reading, chanting, service, they are all Krishna conscious. So we cannot say one is better than the other. At our stage, we cannot say. Sometimes more chanting may be the best thing that will happen, that can do to you. Sometimes, because your consciousness is so bad, your chanting may be more and more offensive. So reading may be the right thing to do. Right? Because if you chant more with your material desires, then it is more offensive, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
So what Guru has told, chant 16 rounds, nicely. And then engage in his preaching mission. That will dovetail all our Rajaguna, material desires, everything. Then a stage will come when we don't have this doubt at all. Whether I should chant now, or whether I should read now, or extra time. Krishna will guide the devotee how, when, what, where devotion service has to be done. Lord is in our heart, He will guide. We cannot make a rigid rule. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.